Genie grind and watch him get rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucking gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit but feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,
Hello world, I'm Live Study, and you'll have to excuse me actually. I have been sick for almost 3 days. I know. But I'm trying to upload this one as fast as I can. You may hear some nasally stuff in my nose. However, I will be better within a few days. Hopefully at least. Either way, I have zero clue what I'm gonna do now, so I'm just gonna wing it. Deku starts off, his hands covering his face, being swayed from side to side, every single impact pushing them off, but dispersing his hands from each other. However, he keeps them cupped together no matter what. The bruises on them that had been stricken before were being multiplied this time. The punches came over and over again as the crowd cheered even harder. There weren't many of them, however, they were loud for the few. Until the final gut punch that came, he didn't expect it. His eyes darted down to try to block it with his other fist. However, he was too late. He was ricocheted up into the air, leaped off the ground almost 2 feet up, and then smashed down with the left sledgehammer from the opponent. He was struck straight down to the ground. His brain felt numb. His whole body felt like something out of this world. It was this adrenaline, this feeling. No. I've fought guys way bigger than him. He hears, 4, 5, 6. He rises up his fist, showing that he's still up, as the man takes up his hand, brings him up to the ugly bastardized face of the man he fought, all scarred and jagged from the fights that he's been through. The guy stares into his eyes, almost soul-bending. You dare raise your fist again, boy? I've been looking for a good fight like this. All right. Just tap out this time, as he raises up his right fist. He throws it as the bruise upon Deku's right cheek was the aim. Deku barely opens up his eyes, skidding it off to the left of his cheek. However, it rips off some of the skin, tearing off his cheekbone, which permanently would disfigure him for life. He uses this timed uppercut straight into the chin of the opponent, sending his face right up. Bending his back faster than he could react. The huge explosion of energy caused dysphoria inside of Deku's arm. As Deku falls down onto his feet, he grinds both of his feet into the ground as the guy looks down with evil intent. That was a good hit, kid. All right, do it again. Aim for the face this time, kid. And maybe you'll knock me. As all of everything cuts out, Deku forces his mind to distract himself from he's currently bleeding out from the left side of his face. His left eye permanently scarred from this forever, and that all the way from his left eye all the way down to his left chin bone were completely destroyed. That part of his face was ripped off. He was barely alive, so by some people's explanations, dead while standing. However, something kept him driving. Something kept him moving. The boxing gloves that he wore ruined, destroyed. That left punch had destroyed his boxing glove. It was just hanging off of his wrist now, like a lone Muppet. His fist clenched. His right one now was the only one that was able to move. The guy treated him as a child. The blank stare from the man showed him that rocked him, almost completely knocked out the guy. Why is he asking for this? No matter. Don't question it. Just punch as hard as you fucking can! A man's voice from the crowd rises, saying, "Get him, son!" As then, "Yes, father." His voice ricochets through the thing, cutting the silence, as his fist injects into the stomach of the monstrous man, exploding out the back. His whole body kind of inverted from the punch. Saliva's crept out of his mouth as it spits all over Deku's face. However, Deku does not react. He only looks for any semblance of life in this man's face. When everything was said and done, he rips out his hand. Some bone and cartilage and blood mixed all up on it. He clenches down as he clenches onto his sanity, keeping himself awake just for another second to look out to the blind crowd. This, he's coming out of this adrenaline rush hard, and he falls, right? His legs start to crumble as the whole ground seems to shift upwards. No, that was just him falling. He catches himself as he brings his head back up, and then with the rest of his body, secondly. He throws his hand up into the air as the crowd resumes, cheering, screaming, "He has defeated him! The young rookie has defeated the best wrestler in the world!" As everybody just, "Rah!" Everything's going on, like horns blare, everything goes on. And, he looks over, losing his composure as he just gives out this smile that inside of itself kind of, makes this, how should we say, moment where this malicious smile comes out. He had never used this before, but now he had gained this title, this feeling of endurance, this feeling to be the top one guy in the world. Somehow this smile came off as malicious. Everybody was paralyzed with fear. Every single person in the crowd immediately stops in their footsteps. Except his girlfriend rushing the stage. She jumps onto him saying, "You did it! You did it! Next time, that punch, it won't go straight through him. Hopefully he didn't kill him. After all, his regeneration quirk, isn't that great? Honey? Honey?" As, Deku is just looking up to the crowd. Whoa. What did I do? She looks off to the crowd too. I don't know. I think it was the smile, maybe. I felt chills go down my spine when he did it. What did you do? Like I just said, I don't know. The whole world was paralyzed as they walk out of the stage. Everybody walking around was also paralyzed. Some of the top people like Arizawa, paralyzed. As they see him walking down the street. All the cameras, all the TVs in this whole world were all frozen pictures of him. Of course, because most people were looking at the championships for the top hero. She says, "I don't like this, not one bit." Does that mean that the villains were frozen, too? Perhaps. I wish we knew where they were. Perhaps we could. Maybe CIA, Washington place? As they go to both places, they could drive some of the cars over there, having to kind of take out some of the people inside them. However, they drove it down to the actual car rental, put a note on it to whoever it was, 4, saying, sorry, we needed this for a second. Be back in a jiffy. And took up one of the sports cars that was just hanging there in the cellar. They logicked out that they'll just take it back once they're done. On the road, they finally make their way to the Washington House. Of course, they start making their way in, and along all the security cameras. Everything was still frozen, but the world wasn't. It wasn't like any of the cars stopped, not like any of the, many of the animals stopped though. All the CIA agents opening up some of the doors that they were allowed to go through, and then some others that they had to get the key cards off of the guards, chests. Finally, they made their way into the main room. It seemed like some of the people started moving again at this point. We have to hurry up. I know. Give me time. We don't have time. Well, why don't you just do it again then? You don't really know. Exactly. So, don't ask me the impossible. As you know, they finally get into the final room. They walk into the president's, which is probably some, let's say that the president has like a moose head or some shit. We don't actually know what the president looks like in My Hero. So, it's just like a moose head president. He's still in his royal garb. Of course, he has a grand beard and is surrounded by CIA agents as they are also watching him fight his fight. As the guy is starting to regenerate on the thing, as he had came out from the sort of fear release that Deku made. They check into the files of some of the other things, and then they find out that it's actually on the iPad, as his girlfriend hacks into the iPad and actually swipes over it and sees where some of the villains hideouts and some of their plans to attack it on where you should go in. However, they just threw that away, as they can basically just run straight in. They leave it back into the president's phone, iPad, and then they start their drive over to the place. However, some people continue randomly, as they almost crash into some people, that had continued. Most likely the strongest, some of the strongest heroes in the world had awakened again. Deku, of course, is still recovering from his fight as he bandages up the left side of his face. As they start to make their way into the villain's base, some of the other people had started to come alive again, as some of the guards start to walk around, even the ones that they just crossed past. As they finally make their way into the final stages of the place, they find some of the masks there, and one that actually covers half the face of one of the villains. A mask that was made with a yellow garb around it. He picks it up and puts the mask onto his left face, keeping it from other people from seeing it, as all of the guards resume their posts and everything starts to lock down again. They make their way all the way down into the final corridors. He says to his girlfriend that it's too dangerous for her by this point. If you were caught, you would have to die with me too. She says, well, what do I do then? Hack into the guards' cameras. Tell me where they're coming from and where do they go. Where do they come from? Where do they go? I haven't seen you in a long time. Cotton Eye Joe. Oh my god. My brain. Alright, you know what? Actually, I would like to see how many people are actually interested in the ending of this. I will make a second one of this. As long as I get 20 likes, I will make another one of this. Instantly. Right as they get 20 likes. I don't care how late in the night it is, no matter how early in the morning, I will make another one, as long as it gets 20 likes. Because I really like this one. I know that people do. I will see you guys 20 likes later. Goodbye.
Genie grind, I watch him get rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie when I made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fuck you gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit up for that one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,